Hello, my name is Elaine Carter. If you've ever wondered whether kindness still matters in this world, maybe my story will answer your question. I was just a waitress, not the glamorous kind who worked in five-star hotels or who carried plates in trendy city bars where celebrities walked in. No, I worked in a small but fancy restaurant on the edge of town, the kind of place where the chandeliers sparkled but behind the curtains, the employees were treated like disposable napkins. I didn't choose this job because I loved it. I chose it because life didn't give me much of a choice. My mother was sick, the kind of sickness that didn't wait for payday. Her medicine was expensive, and the bills stacked up higher than the plates I carried every night. So, every morning, I put on a white shirt, tied my apron, and pasted a smile across my face like makeup. But if you've ever worked in a place like mine, you'd know smiles don't always save you. My boss, his name was Mr. Grayson, measured everything in dollars. Tips, tables, towels, even people. To him, we were not employees. We were tools. Replaceable. Breakable. Worth nothing. Still, I kept going because my mother needed me, because every paycheck mattered, because quitting wasn't an option. That day, the day my life changed forever, began like any other. I arrived early, mopped the marble floors until they reflected the ceiling lights, refilled the salt and pepper shakers, polished glasses until my fingers ached. I had learned to ignore Mr. Grayson's insults. Work faster. Smile more. You missed a spot. His voice was background noise now, like the clatter of plates or the hiss of the espresso machine. Around noon, as the restaurant began to fill with well-dressed couples and businessmen in sharp suits, the door opened, and he walked in. A man. Scruffy, clothes torn at the edges, hair messy, beard overgrown. His shoes looked like they had walked 1,000 miles without rest, and his smell, well, it made nearby customers wrinkle their noses. People stared. Some whispered. Mr. Grayson shot me a glare sharp enough to cut glass. But the man walked with quiet dignity. He didn't slouch or beg. He simply chose a corner table and sat down as if he belonged. I hesitated for a moment. I knew my boss didn't like people like him, but my job was to serve, and so I walked over. "Good afternoon, sir," I said softly. "Here's the menu." He smiled, not the kind of smile you give when you're comfortable, but the kind you give when someone treats you like a human being. His eyes, tired, sunken, but kind. To my surprise, he didn't even glance at the cheaper items. He pointed straight to the most expensive dish on the menu. "I'll take this," he said. My eyebrows lifted, but I wrote it down without judgment. Minutes later, I brought the dish, steaming and rich, to his table. He ate slowly, savoring each bite as though it were his first meal in days. Maybe it was. When I placed the bill on the table, he looked up at me. His voice was steady, but his words, they pierced me. "I have no money." My heart skipped. My throat tightened. Behind me, I felt Mr. Grayson's shadow. "What do you mean you have no money?" my boss hissed. His voice was loud enough for half the restaurant to hear. "You ordered the most expensive dish here. Do you think this is a charity?" I saw the man lower his head in shame. He whispered, "I just wanted to feel normal for once, to sit here, order freely, and eat without fear. I was hungry. I'm sorry." Customers murmured, staring. My boss's face turned red with fury. I knew what came next. Police, humiliation, maybe even violence. And that's when I made a choice. I reached into my pocket, pulled out the crumpled bills from my morning tips, and laid them on the counter. "I'll pay," I said firmly. The room went silent. My boss looked at me like I'd grown two heads. "You? You'll pay with your tips?" "Yes," I whispered. "Just let him be." Mr. Grayson exploded. "Elaine, you're out of your mind. You're fired if you ever pull something like this again. Do you think we run a soup kitchen here?" I didn't answer. I just watched the man stand, his eyes glistening with gratitude. "Thank you," he murmured. "You'll be rewarded for this someday." But I didn't do it for a reward. I did it because I couldn't stand the thought of a hungry man being dragged out like a criminal. That night, Mr. Grayson made me scrub both the men's and women's bathrooms, mop the kitchen floors, and clean the grease traps. He said it was punishment for charity. My back ached, my fingers blistered, but I stayed silent. My mother needed her medicine. The next day, way to get a small meal. I checked my pockets. Empty. I hadn't earned any tips yet. My boss had cut my section, so I'd barely served tables. So I did the only thing I could. I snuck into the kitchen, gathered some rolls and snacks that would have gone into the trash, and handed them over. "Please," I begged, "eat outside, or I'll get in trouble." They smiled, grateful, and left. But of course, Mr. Grayson saw. He stormed toward me, demanding payment. When I couldn't give it, he threatened to dock my wages. Right then, a woman at a nearby table, a stranger, stood up, dug into her purse, and handed him loose change. "Here," she said, "paid." My cheeks burned with humiliation. My boss sneered, "Clean the bathrooms again." That evening, as I scrubbed floors, the man found me in the hallway. He asked softly, "Do you believe in God? Do you believe in miracles?" I nodded. "It's the only way I keep going." He smiled. "Keep your heart. It will take you far." And then he disappeared. For a week, life went on. Same insults, same exhaustion, same aching back and hungry wallet. Until one afternoon, the doors opened again. And there he was. Only this time, he wasn't wearing rags. He wore a tailored suit, polished shoes, and beside him walked a woman in an elegant coat. Heads turned. My boss nearly tripped over himself rushing to greet them. "These are VIPs," he whispered. "Elaine, serve them. Don't mess this up." I walked over nervously, but before I could speak, the man smiled and reached into his pocket. He handed me an envelope. "This is for you." My hand shook as I opened it. $3,000. Enough to save my mother, enough to breathe. My boss nearly fainted. "She can't accept that! She didn't serve you!" he shouted. The man turned, his eyes calm but sharp. "I didn't come here to eat. I came to repay a kindness. You see, I'm not homeless. I'm a millionaire. My name is Daniel Reed. I've spent years testing people, seeing if humanity still exists in small corners of the world. And Elaine, you passed." The restaurant froze. Gasps filled the room. My boss's jaw dropped. Daniel continued, "Elaine, someone with your heart doesn't belong scrubbing bathrooms for a tyrant. I'm opening new restaurants across the country. I want you to manage one. I'll teach you everything you need to know. Your kindness deserves more than punishment. It deserves a future." I couldn't speak. Tears blurred my vision. My boss stammered, shouting about contracts, threatening lawsuits, but I had already made my choice. I turned, Untying my apron, "I quit," I said simply. And for the first time in years, I felt free. That afternoon changed everything. My mother received the care she needed. I began a new career under Daniel's guidance, and I carried with me a truth I'll never forget. Good deeds bring great things. Do them without expecting a reward. Because sometimes, miracles arrive quietly, like envelopes on a table.